So far, we have discussed, or I have lectured at you, about viral and bacterial skin infections. We also have to touch on fungal infections. There are a group of fungi that are known as dermatophytes. Okay, the dermatophytes actually live on skin, and some of them have been able to have evolved the ability to utilize the keratin within the dead cells of our skin as a carbon source. So they can use the keratin, whether it's from the outer epidermis, from our hair, from our fingernails. Others have developed the ability to digest the proteins, holding the skin cells tightly together to form that cohesive barrier. So they can break that down and actually grow under the surface, under the epidermal surface, and spread that way. What you're going to see is that a lot of these skin infections due to fungi begin with the name tinea. Um, what we have noticed on the growth patterns for these fungal infections is that once they get into the epidermal layers, they actually start at one point and then will spread out. It's an irregular circular pattern as they spread. The edge of the fungal growth, there will be an area of inflammation there. So you'll actually see a red ring because people saw that red ring. They thought it was actually a worm growing under there. A ring caused by a skin worm, hence ringworm. Depending upon what area of the body you're talking about, tinea capitis, tinea barbae, tinea corpus, tinea curis, pedis, unguium. It all starts with tinea. The causative agent, though, is going to be different depending upon where you're at, what layers of the skin it's growing in, and things like that. Trichophyton, microsporum, and epidermophyton are our three main causatives. It can also not only be the physical location of tinea corpus, tinea pedis, whatever, but where you are in the world. There's going to be slightly different variants. US compared to Africa. Africa compared to, one of the Pan-Pacific islands. But what it comes down to is all of these fungi are dermatophytes, okay? They have evolved to have the ability to digest keratin, use it as an energy source. Now, they generally don't get deeper than the epidermal layer. Okay, they don't go dermal and subcutaneous. They could lead to a bacterial infection, a secondary infection. Notice in the past few lectures I keep saying secondary infection. The primary infection here is the fungal infection. You itch, you scratch, the inflammation opens up the epidermis, allowing bacteria to get down below the epidermis to the dermal layer. The bacteria spread through the dermal layer. The fungi infection led to the bacterial infection. Fungi is primary, bacteria is secondary, came in second, after. One led to the other. Transmission, depending upon which one you're talking about. person to person. Maybe somebody, wearing clothing, sharing clothing. Okay, that's a, sharing socks, sharing underwear, sharing, sports uniforms. Because it's a fungal infection, as we talked about back during the eukaryotic chapter, treatment's going to be a topical antifungal ointment. Okay? You do not want anything that's going to be oral here. Now, there are oral antifungal drugs because, yes, there have been some fungal infections that do get down in, or somebody breathed in a fungal spore, things like that. They're generally immunocompromised to begin with. Problem with antifungal treatments, oral antifungal treatments, we're eukaryotes just like they are. So anything that's going to interfere with them, with their cells, there's a good chance it's going to interfere with ours. So by keeping it a topical, it's not going to penetrate epidermis far enough to get through the dermis, into the subcutaneous where the capillary beds are and all that stuff to be taken throughout the body. So that's a good thing. Superficial, this is on the surface of the skin, outer layers of the epidermis. More cosmetic. It's going to cause discoloration of the skin. You've got it. It's somewhere on your body right now, and it's going to appear at any point in time. It's going to be a yeast cell, okay? Not Saccharomyces cerevisiae that we, do bread and wine and all that stuff with. This is a different yeast known as Malassezia. Genus Malassezia, and at least 10 different species, okay? You don't take a shower for a few days, you get this slight funk smell in your groin. There you go. That's what's causing it.